Afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Sports Central. I'm Neal Duncan. We got a great show lined up for you. We're going to talk Florida Southern College softball, Florida Southern College men's basketball. We're going to catch up with a world champion water skier. Stick around, everybody, for this week's edition of Sports Central. Everybody, welcome back to Sports Central. Neal Duncan alongside Hank Longo in this first segment brought to us by Jimmy John's, a great partner of tourism and sports marketing.
Yes, they are. Always great to have these sponsors on board.
Yeah, you got to pay the bills, right?
Yep.
Hey, before we get started on this edition of Sports Central, we want to go ahead and wish good luck and warm wishes to Priscilla Grant. She is actually retiring from the county today. She's been with Tourism and Sports Marketing and the Central Florida Development Council before that, and I believe she had 31 years in with the county. So congratulations to Priscilla on her retirement and good luck. We obviously
will be missed.
We absolutely missed. Just a wonderful person and a real sweetheart. So
best of wishes to her and fun first segment.
Yeah, well, you talk about longevity, and we just talked about it with Priscilla Grant. Our first guest certainly has some longevity at Florida Southern College, and we're going to go ahead and introduce the head coach of the Florida Southern College women's softball team, Chris Bellotto. And Coach, welcome to Sports Central.
Thank you. Pleasure to be here.
I want to make sure I have this right. This is going to be the 39th season with you in charge.
The 39th season. I'm blessed. It's been an amazing career for me. So.
In terms of that, you make Priscilla look like a slacker. She's got 8 more years to go. But talk about it. 24 conference titles, 8 regional titles, 1 national championship in 1993, and 2 national runner-ups. Talk about the experience over the years before we get to this year's team.
Well, again, I'm so blessed to do what I do and have done it for so long. I love Florida Southern. I think that's pretty obvious because I've never wanted to go any place but Florida Southern. It's been an amazing ride, but you don't get to do all those things that you just mentioned without fantastic coaches and fantastic players. And I've been so blessed to have a bunch of those. My brother Al actually was with me for over 25 years, and 2 of my assistants actually played for me. So it's just been an amazing journey.
How did you get into softball? I mean, there's definitely a passion there for you to be there all that time, and that's what it's all about, passion. So how did that start off for you?
Well, being from Lakeland, as I am as a native, Hal Smeltsley was the athletic director for a number of years, won 3 national championships as a baseball coach, and I was honestly fascinated with him. And unfortunately, he just passed away a few months ago, but he was my inspiration. I don't know what he saw in me. I went to my brother's baseball camps, and we developed a camaraderie, and he actually asked me to start the program. And again, I mean, who gets to do that and then be there as long as I have? So it's been a fun ride.
You talk about starting a program, obviously from, the ground up. We had Coach Bearfield from Southeastern here not too long ago, and he got to do the same thing. I know Kelly Scott was part of the Weber when they started football. Talk about that, because a national championship and 2-time runner-up, that's a long way removed from when the program started. Talk about that. Sure. What was important to build in that foundation?
Well, I mean, the discipline of what you do, I always like to say it's a life lesson, sports are, because I mean, life's tough out there, and every day, if you lose a game, I always tell my players the sun comes up the next day, and you have to go on, and that's what I love about sports. But we've also had a lot of local kids. Actually, Kelly Robinson from Bartow was actually the school's first 4-time All-American athlete, and that was neat to see that kind of thing. And I've actually got to coach her relatives, so it's been a neat thing for me.
Well, you talk about Kelly Robinson, a few years ago was inducted into the Polk County Sports Hall of Fame. For you, Coach, Sunshine State Conference Hall of Fame in 2000, Florida Southern College Athletic Hall of Fame in 2002, and then the Polk County Sports Hall of Fame in 2005. So apparently we were a little bit behind in Polk County, but certainly a worthy honor. But talk about that, how you go into the Hall of Fame, and then some years later, your players are going into the Polk County Sports Hall of Fame.
Well, again, it's a humbling experience. There's no doubt about it. Polk County is a neat place. We have so many wonderful sports teams here, and including the Tigers, and it's a nice place to be.
Absolutely. Well, the National Fast Pitch Coaches Association Hall of Fame in 2010. The reason I want to separate that one out, talk about how the game has changed from when you started the program at Florida Southern to what it is now.
Well, we started out years ago with the white ball with white seams. I actually was on an NCAA committee that we got to change the ball back in 1993, which coincidentally we won the national championship that year. And it went from a yellow ball with red seams. Now, in the last, I'd say, 10, 12 years, the bats have made our game so much more offensive. Mm-hmm. And, you know, while I still liked the 1-0 pitching dominating game, most people like to see a lot of offense, no matter what sport it is. Mm-hmm. And the bats have really changed it. A lot of home runs now that, you know, you would never have seen back in the day. But it's fun, it's exciting.
And so you went from a white ball to a yellow ball. What is so visible, it's easier to see coming
exactly
when the pitcher's throwing it, you can see the ball a lot
We studied
easier.
the tennis, you know, remember they had the white ball years ago, and so then we went the optics of the yellow. And then, of course, having the red seams, it makes it a little bit easier to pick up. So that's kind of why we did what we did.
And what did they do to the bat to make this significant change?
It's the composite of the bat. I mean, the bats now are just, the ball just springs off the bats. So, you know, they have to test them constantly because you don't want to make sure you don't get something that's too hot, because people could get hurt. But again, people like to see offense. That's the way it is.
I want to see them run around the bases
Absolutely.
and hit them out of the ballpark.
You got that right.
Helps to sell tickets.
Absolutely.
Speaking of selling tickets, you've got to talk about the brand new venue. Obviously, the Barnetts and Publix and what they've meant to Florida Southern College. Talk about the new configuration and the new field.
It's larger than most ballparks. I'm one that likes to see a triple, and so that's kind of an exciting play that you don't always get to see in softball if the field is like 190. Ours is 210 and 230 center. It's absolutely gorgeous. It's helped our recruiting tremendously already. We actually have 18 commitments since June, and that's pretty amazing to me because usually we have probably between 3 and 5. We've even got a kid committed that's 2021, so I'm very excited. It's a beautiful, beautiful place. Everybody that comes there just is blown away, and even though it's a Division II, it's state of the art. It's really a beautiful facility.
And where do you get your recruits from? Where are these ball players coming from? Because we have such a hotbed right here in Polk County.
There are some out-of-state kids that we have, and we're proud of them. But we also have 3 local kids on our program right now. Alex Mace and Kinsey Green are from the Bartow program. And Kristen Beecham, if anybody that knows softball, knows that she won back-to-back state titles with Lakeland Christian playing for Sue Wilsman. So again, it's fun to have them from all over the place, but being a local native of Polk County, we try to get as many Polk County girls as we can.
Well, let's talk about this year's team. I would say after all these years and looking at your record, we won't go through all the accolades, but there's a target on your back or your program's back. What are the expectations? And I know we're going to get a little bit of coach talk here. I know you're going to, we're not very good at this. We need to get better at that, but let's talk about this year's team.
Right. Well, you never know what to expect, to be honest with you. Every year's different. We always strive to win a national championship and also a conference championship. So we have a nice mix of incoming kids and kids that returned. Mm-hmm. We have 6 seniors on our team this year. I don't usually like to single anybody out. Our pitching staff's back from this past year, but honestly, you don't know, and that's not just coach speak. You don't know because you don't know how they're going to gel together, get along, and all that kind of stuff. So we're excited about it. I know that we have a competitive team. I know that we have some depth that we haven't had in the last couple of years. So again, with the facility and the recruiting, the future looks bright for Florida Southern College softball. Do
you feel like the facility has perhaps even re-energized you into the program and your staff? And
absolutely. I mean, when you have something that's that beautiful, I literally every day when I go to work say, my goodness, this is our field, and it's so incredibly beautiful.
Well, I know you have an event coming up, hosting a defensive clinic at FSC, October 25th from 5 to 9. Talk to us a little bit about that.
It's going to be a fun camp. It's a defensive clinic. We're going to cover infield, outfield, also throwing mechanics, arm angles, positioning, all kinds of mechanics. It's fun. They'll get a lot of reps. We actually have 6 coaches working it, so they have all kinds of stations. It's ages 13 and up. We have 3 coaches from California, and then 3 of my staff will also be running the clinic. So it's going to be a lot of fun.
Fantastic.
What are some of the most important basics that you try to drill into your players that make the difference? I mean, there's the discipline part of it, but there's got to be some things that if you break it down real simple, if you do this, this, and this, you're going to be good out there.
Well, it's funny that you say that, because mechanics, it all starts with mechanics in anything, in any sport to me. And we really try to break things down individually, position by position, and just really hammer home the mechanics of what we do, why we do it, and try to reinforce that in our practices every single day.
Like, what would be one of the most important mechanics that, say, on defense?
Well, what I would say is your hands and your feet. Your feet are just as important as your hands. A lot of people neglect the
that's
feet.
interesting. That's interesting to know, because I'm not a softball player.
Right.
You know, and I shouldn't say that. I did play softball.
Right.
Because when I moved from New York to Michigan, I was getting ready to play Babe Ruth baseball when I was 7. I couldn't wait, and then we went to Michigan out in the country, and I went from baseball to softball. So
Right.
I did play softball, but I never would think about my feet, which,
Right.
you know, you say, that's going to be as important to set up your body position to
Well,
catch
you
in the
can-
ball.
Well,
Yeah.
maybe we'll get you out there for a skills challenge
Yeah.
against
Come
some
on
of the
down.
players.
Come on down. We got a machine that throws about 65 miles an hour, and it's crazy.
Strike
so-
one.
We will definitely send a camera for that.
I love it.
Well, that's great. Of course, if you want more information on sports and events going on at Florida Southern, you can go to fscmox.com. Coach, when's your first game?
In the very 1st of February. I can't tell you the exact date,
Okay,
but
so
we start
still
in
a
February.
little bit of time getting everything,
We
getting
do.
everybody to gel together, and
And I would invite anybody to come see our new facility, see our team. They'd appreciate the support.
okay. And again, if you want to send one of your athletes to the camp, that is October 25th from 5 to 9 p.m. $150, open to 13 years old and up. Registration deadline is October 15th. Once again, Coach, thanks so much for your time.
Thank you. Pleasure being here,
Thanks,
gentlemen.
Coach.
All right. Well, recently here on Sports Central, we've had the Aquamaids doing some special packages for us, showing around some of the water sports in Polk County. We're going to take a look at this as they went flyboarding. After this is over, Hank and Neal will be right back here on Sports Central.
I'm Shelly with the Florida Aquamaids. Recently, I learned how to water ski and had such a great time. While out on the lake, I saw something so exciting, I just have to try it. Flyboarding. If you're looking for a unique experience while on vacation, contact Winter Haven Water Sports. They have flights for beginners, intermediate, and advanced flyers. They also offer group packages and special events. Your flyboard lesson will provide safety instructions, pre-flight training, and equipment. Today, I'm gonna soar above the water with Aquamaid Sherry. Now, Sherry, you're probably the most famous swivel skier, and yet you've never tried flyboarding.
I never have, and I can't wait.
Ooh, well, are you ready to take this off your bucket list?
I am ready. This is gonna be fun.
Well, Lauren is our instructor today, and she's an expert at this.
Okay, ladies, today we're gonna flyboard. So first we're gonna fit you out with helmets, life jackets. Then we're gonna strap on the flyboard, so we'll get your feet in that board. Put you in the water. You're gonna be like Superwoman going through the water. And then I'll accelerate the jet ski. You'll stand up and slowly rise into the air like a superhero.
So Sherry, how was your experience?
That was incredible. I had such a great time, and it's not as hard as it looks. I thought it would be a little more scary, but it's not. It's fun.
It is, and I had a great time too. And even though I had a little bit of trouble with my balance, I had such a great time. And when finally I was able to get up out of the water a little bit, I was like, oh my gosh, I'm doing it.
Me too.
Winter Haven Water Sports is located right in the center of the state, in between Tampa and Orlando. Besides flyboarding, they offer wakeboarding, water skiing, and tubing. You can also rent a paddleboard or a pontoon boat. If you're ready to experience the adrenaline rush of flyboarding, check out winterhavenwatersports.com and unleash your superhero.
Hey everybody, welcome back to Sports Central. Neal Duncan alongside Hank Longo in this
Howdy.
second segment brought to us by the Trophy Shop, good partner of Tourism and Sports Marketing. But have you ever done the flyboarding?
No, I've never done the flyboarding. I've got to watch it, but I haven't had that experience yet. And it looks like a lot of fun. I would like to.
I
give it a
would
shot
really like to
sometime.
do it, but I'm afraid I'd be more nose down in the water than I would
And
be
you can do that.
up in the air. So
You can
I
submarine
definitely
it.
wouldn't take the PGTV film crew with me to do that. I'm going to go ahead and let you introduce our next guest. I know it's a good friend and with your knowledge in water skiing, but a world champion barefoot water skier. So take it away,
Yeah,
Hank.
this is one of my heroes, ladies and gentlemen. World champ, 14-time world champ, Keith St. Onge. And Keith, great having you on the show.
Thanks for having us.
And lucky for me, I got to be at the state championships and the national championships with you folks this year over on Lake Crew and Polk City. And what a great crew you've got there. Everybody comes to have a good time and some fantastic skiing. that went on.
Yeah, we do. That Nationals was awesome. We had a lot of people helping us out, especially you. You were there helping out with all the speakers. That was good. And yeah, it was a really, really good event. And of course, Visit Central Florida helped us out a lot. So we're thankful for that.
Well, you get people coming from all over the country, and it's just amazing how passionate everybody is. That's what I'm so impressed with, and how everybody helps out. And at the end of the event, you'll find this rare, but at the end of the event, when everything's all over, everybody helps pick up all the trash, put away all the chairs, fold up all the tables, so that you leave the place looking spanking new. And I think that's a great testament to what great folks
I know the
you've
next thing
got
we're going to
there.
do, we're going to have the water ski industry do a seminar for every other sport in the world.
Well, it's impressive. But let's talk about your career. How'd this all get going for you?
Basically, well, I'm from northern New Hampshire, which is kind of funny. People always go, oh, being up there, you know, you got ice on the lake several months out of the year and all that stuff. So my grandfather and two of his brothers built a little cabin on a lake, and we went up there every weekend, and we water skied and had fun. A good friend of mine, and actually cousin, he started a water ski club, Gary Bouchard, Swampy as he's known. And he hired Mike Seipel, which was current world champion at that time, back in 1988. And he took myself out, two of my cousins, and taught us how to barefoot water ski, just stepping off a ski off the boom on the side of the boat. And that was my first introduction to barefoot water skiing.
Oh my gosh. Well, let me just, 19 U.S. National Overall Championships, 14-time gold medalist at the World Championships, 2-time footstock figure eight champion, and that's where you go against somebody in a figure eight, and the guy that holds on the longest wins.
Yeah, last
so
man
that's
standing.
kind of an endurance, beat your brains out type of
So
event.
it's not a timed race. It's just you're going to go until somebody
Yeah,
goes
two of
down.
you go around. You go around in a
So
figure
how does
eight.
that last?
So yeah, I mean, it can last up to 4 to 5, 6 minutes. So two guys are behind the boat at the same time, right? You each on both sides of your own curl, the wake, and then the boat goes into a figure eight pattern. So you know you're gonna have to cross your own rollers, which is obviously the hard part. So you get wore down, your arms get tired, your back gets tired, your quads are burning, and you just keep on going until you have a last man standing. And usually it's double elimination. So then you go into the consolation bracket and you can work your way back up.
So
Yeah, it's fun.
It sounds like it. That's great.
So you very early on, you knew that you wanted to be a barefoot champion, and had the passion to move down here to Florida and pursue that.
Yeah, it was kind of wild. So I was 9 years old when I learned how to barefoot water ski. I learned how to water ski, kneeboard first, water ski and barefoot in the same season. And for some reason, barefooting was just what really drove me. I was like, this is just, I want to just barefoot. I don't want to do anything else. So we went to a local tournament just to see what it was like, and we kind of figured out these are the rules and what you have to do and how you have to do it. And then we went to a regional championship, and then we said, well, let's go to nationals. And that happened actually the next year. So we kind of jumped right into it, and we figured out we just didn't love it. We wanted to excel at it and figure this out and try to go as far as we could and be as good as we could have been. So at 13 years old, I had a newspaper reporter come and interview me because I was starting to do pretty good as a young kid. And I basically, what I wanted to do, and the answer to the question was, I want to move to Florida, have a ski school one day, and be world and national champion. That's when I was 13 years old. So I kind of just stayed on that path and just kind of focused on that, and it was my passion. I had my parents and Swampy, a great support team. They pushed me, they motivated me, and they gave me certain options as far as, if you don't want to do this like at a competitive level and work hard, you don't have to. You can do it for fun, but we're not going to travel everywhere. But if you want to travel everywhere and go to nationals in all these different states around the country every single year, you're going to have to work hard. You're going to have to allow us to push you, and that's pretty much what I did. I said, yeah, I want to go all the way. Let's work hard. Let's train hard, and let's push it. And we literally skied. We only had 3 months of the year to ski up there, but we literally skied every day. 3 times a day. As soon as the ice went out on the lake, we were skiing. I remember going up there after school, and I'd throw rocks on the ice. And when they would finally start going through, we'd pull the boat out. And we're like, hey, we got like 2 or 3 days to go here. The ice is going to be off.
Oh my gosh!
And we would get after it.
Now you've skied behind airplanes, cars, and this is the one that really fast, snowmobiles. So apparently there is still snow on the ground, and the snowmobile is on the ground, and you were out on a lake. Am I right on this? How did that work?
Kinda. Yeah, I've always tried to find different vehicles and things to barefoot water ski behind just to change it up. But yeah, the snowmobile one was pretty unique. About 12 years ago, I was up in northern Wisconsin during the summertime, and these guys were just water skipping, just taking the snowmobiles across the water, from the grass to the water, and just going around. And my friend was like, you got your rope and suit with you? And I was like, yeah, I do. He goes, well, let's pull you behind the snowmobile and try barefoot water skiing behind it.
Oh, jeez.
So I sat in a knee board on this big slope, and he pulled me down and took off, went flying across the water, and I stood up on my bare feet, and I was barefoot water skiing behind a snowmobile on the water.
Oh my gosh, that's pretty fascinating.
But recently, I just did it this summer. This was the first time in 12 years I did it this summer. Again. And it was a little more difficult this time because of the venue we had, but it was really cool. The guys that pulled me on the snowmobile, they actually race competitively during the summertime. So they have 2 buoys out in the lake, and they'll have a snowmobile, and they'll race 5 or 6 guys on a competitive circuit, and they'll race and see who's the fastest on a snowmobile on the water.
And do they sink?
Oh yeah, they can sink. Yeah, we sink.
I'm over here going, I don't know water skiing, but how does this work? Like, you're saying summer, and I know it's probably about 32 degrees in the summer in Wisconsin, but
right.
So how does it work?
So the first time I did it, all they had was a truck. You just get a rope on. There was a small pond that we were on. You just get a rope and pull it out. Well, the guys that I did it with this year, since they do it professionally, they actually have a little pontoon barge. Well, they'll go out, they'll get the snowmobile wherever it sinks. It's 6-7 feet deep. Hook it up. Have a crank on it, crank it up, and then they bring it to shore. When they bring it to shore, they tip it over, pull the spark plugs out, pull it several times, get all the water out of there, tip it back down, boom, it starts again. It's like a 15-minute process, but they can get it going again just like that.
Oh my gosh.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Let's,
that video's online too. If you go and look for like barefoot water ski behind a snowmobile, you can find it.
So Keith, we've had the pleasure of being friends for quite a while now, and the thing that I admire about you, because being in the sport, you can't help but be amazed at the folks that are the world champions, because you know what it takes. And Ron Scarpa, one of the greatest ever, was a dear friend of mine, actually my next door neighbor for a number of years, and all the world records he set, and then Mike Seipel, the world records he set. These guys are like the Muhammad Ali, Joe Frazier of barefoot water skiing, just pounding away at each other to break each other's records, and you've broken all of their records, and you've set world records in every event, slalom, tricks, and jumping. That's just unheard of.
It's wild to look back and realize that, like, sometimes I have to really look back and remind myself, because I mean that was always the goal, and but this is over a 30-year career. I started when I was 10 and just turned 40, and 20 years in Florida, and then really pushing hard and taking a lot of hard falls. But the sport is cool because it keeps you humble. It's not an easy sport because you're on a small surface of just your feet. It's not a big surface area there. So, you push through. You have goals. You have passions. You have things you want to achieve. Mike Seipel was the first guy that taught me how to barefoot. That gave me a lot of passion there because he was my idol. I looked up to him and said, I want to be like that. Ron Scarpa and I competed against each other for years, and we were on several world teams together, skiing for the U.S., and he motivated me. We went back and forth with national championship titles. And then to this day, 40 years old, to ski as a professional in the top elite field at 40, it's what I've always wanted to do. I did it. I think I'm going to be pulling back after this year. But it's been an awesome career. But the thing I kind of started saying in the last 5 years, I was kind of the last of the dinosaurs. I was the last guy still competing that actually skied against all these old guys and world champions back in the day. Ron Scarpa, Mike Seipel, Peter Fleck, Don Mixon Jr., Rick Powell, all these world champions. I'm kind of the last of that era. After me, there's nobody that's been around that long anymore. So it's all new now. The technique is new. The kids are skiing better, cleaner, faster on the water. I literally really can't keep up much longer.
Well, Jackson Girard just amazes me. Now, for you folks that don't know, Jackson Girard is what now, 15 years old? Or
yes, he'll turn 16 in December.
Turned 16 in December. Started barefoot skiing 5 years ago, maybe.
Yep.
And just set a world trick record. And did he win the world championship?
He won the world championships in the trick, yes.
And I've got to watch him ski. And it's amazing to me because you've got yourself, you've got David Small, who are the best in the world. And you've been at it a long time. This kid started 5 years ago, and he's whooped both of you at the World Championships.
Yeah, he did.
And he's amazing.
He is.
And it's just how he could be so good at such a young age, because you guys have raised the bar so high in itself. I mean, you've busted all these world records like the legends have, set, your heroes. Yeah. And here this young kid comes out and he's just unbelievable.
It's wild how things happen in sports. And Jackson is a local. He's from Lake Wales. So he started with us when he was, 11 years old, about right from the very beginning. So he could barefoot when he came to see us at the ski school, and then we kind of just trained him from there. So he didn't have any bad habits. Everything was just clean and smooth right from the get-go. But there was another young kid before him. His name was Heinrich Sam from South Africa. He won 3 junior world titles in a row, and everybody said there'll be nobody better than this kid, because the kid was phenomenal. He was doing things that were blowing us away. And then this was probably about, I'd say, a good 12 years ago. So 12 years later now, here we go. Here's Jackson Girard, 16, 15. And he's skiing better than this other kid did that people said there's no way a junior skier will be as good as this. And now he's twice as good. He won 3 junior world championships. He won the elite trick title at the World Championships, and he has the world record now. So it's pretty insane.
Well, that's why Polk County is such a special place, because it can be any sport. And of course, we've long been known as the water ski capital of the world. So, Keith, thank you so much, and good luck. I know you said you're going to be pulling back just a little bit, but I know the coach in you and the person in you that wants to pass that knowledge on, you're going to be doing some of that as well, right?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I'm definitely not going to be retired from the sport and never ski again. Yeah, you're right. I love it. It's part of me. I go out with the family every once in a while, and we have a good time on the water. And I'll still ski. I'm probably going to pull back from being that top competitor, trying to push the bar, try to keep everything together. Yeah, I'm definitely going to pull back. The body's feeling it.
And you've got 2 little kids now, too, that you've got to take care of.
Pass it on. That's right.
That's right. And she was up last night. She was on skis. So
there you go. Well, Keith, thanks so much for coming on Sports Central, and good luck with all your future endeavors, and congratulations on all your success.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having me.
Great having you on the show.
Like we said, water ski capital of the world, and we're looking forward to the Cable Water Park opening up there at Lake Myrtle Sports Park in Auburndale, and USA Water Ski and Wake Sports and all they're doing out there. So it'll just continue to grow right here in Polk County. Speaking of events that are growing, of course, formerly known as the Lake Mirror Auto Classic and now known as the Mid-Florida Auto Show is coming up in October. I think the 19th and 20th, roughly around there. Let's take a look at this package, and Hank and Neal will be right back here on Sports Central. Everybody, welcome back to Sports Central. Neal Duncan alongside Hank Longo, and some good footage there. Always a great event in Lakeland.
Oh yeah, it is. It is.
Looking forward to that. Yeah, Days In is our segment sponsor for this third segment. I'm very much looking forward to this segment because I'm a big football fan, but I grew up playing
Indiana basketball.
Indiana high school basketball. Yep, that's right. So we want to welcome to the program the head coach of Florida Southern College men's basketball team, Coach Mike Donnelly. Coach, welcome to the program.
Thanks for having me.
You know, Coach, it's 4 years now, and it just seems like yesterday
crazy,
you're on the show, you know, first year at Florida Southern, and wow, time flies.
It sure does, and I remember being back here 3 years ago, and my head was spinning, and it's still spinning. I think that's just a profession, but happy to be back.
Well, and spinning in a good way.
Right.
Because there were some bumps and bruises that first year, of course, coming off the national championship, new system, a lot of seniors on that team. So putting your system in, but the last 3 years have been incredible. And talk about the success. I mean, Florida Southern's a successful brand on its own. Talk about how that transition went and where you're at now.
Yeah, no one could prepare me for what I had to face in terms of rebuilding the program. They were coming off a national championship in 2015. Like you mentioned, I think it's one of the best programs, if not the best basketball program in the entire country at the Division II level. And we had a lot of bumps, more than I expected. The first 2 years, it was just about trying to put our system in, trying to find the right combination with our roster and people and things of that nature. And then last year, I really liked our group heading into our 3rd year, but it just took us half the season to really kind of click. And then last January, in the middle of the month, we really got things rolling, and we finished out the year winning 12 of our last 15 games. And now we're leading into year 4 with very high expectations.
When you talk about your system, and I love basketball, not a guru at it, but I love the game and love college basketball. And it's like when you talk about systems, what does that entail for you? It's like getting the offense to gel in a certain. What can you change up that much when you just got 5 guys out there?
Well, defensively is probably the biggest. Our defensive philosophy is a little bit different than what was taught here before. They were a lot of full court man-to-man, a lot of pressing, trapping, and we had a lot of players that carried over from that previous coaching staff, and we taught a different way. And that's hard for players because they're used to doing things a certain way. So defensively was probably our biggest adjustment. Offensively was kind of similar. We both were up-tempo, both like to push the ball, score a lot of points. But again, our terminology is different, philosophy is different, different spots on the floor is different. So it does take a while to kind of all for it to gel and click out.
I find that fascinating.
Yeah.
Yeah. And last year's team wins over 20 games. You guys get a bid to the tournament and actually knocked off the #1 seed, if I remember correctly.
We did. We were the quote-unquote Cinderella. We were the 8th seed, and we had to go play Morehouse College. They were 25-2, and they were the #1 seed hosting up in Atlanta. And we won the game 98-97 in overtime. It was one of the best games I've ever been a part of.
That'd be shocking to
Oh,
them.
it was terrific. Yeah, yeah. They had about 3,000 people there, and we were
It
down.
wasn't supposed to. It's one of those not supposed to happen, right?
Exactly, as the 8th seed, and we were down 21 points with about 12 minutes to play.
Oh my gosh.
Came back, forced the game into overtime, and then we ended up winning by 1 point. So it was a terrific win and something we can build off of heading into this year.
As a coach, is it one of those moments where you just kind of you look around as you're walking off the court, like, did that just happen? And see the reaction of 3,000 fans?
Yeah, the whole gym got quiet except for about 12 guys in red. Our jerseys jumping up and down, bumping chests. It was one of those moments you kind of sit back and say, wow, our guys really took control of the game. I mean, there's only so much we could do as coaches, and they just showed incredible resiliency, and they just found a way to get it done.
Well, they must have got tougher on defense. If they're 21 points up and you got 12 minutes left and they're the #1 seed, they're probably thinking we were going to just keep cruising through this. And then the apple cart gets turned upside down. So 2 things had to have happened. #1, defense got tougher, and they just started burying them from all over the court.
Yeah, and we just played with a different level of confidence. It's almost like we were too tight to start the game, and then we got really loose because we were down, we had nothing to lose, and they just gelled together. And we finished that game with 2 freshmen, 2 sophomores, and a junior out on the floor. So we were really young, and it was just great to see the guys come together and pull out a huge win for us.
You talked about Florida Southern, the basketball program. Before we talk about this year's team, let's talk about Florida Southern College. Because there's an expectation not just of you as the head coach of the men's basketball team, but you look at the other sports on campus. Right. There's an expectation of the athletic department. Do you feel that, and I don't want to call it pressure, but do you feel that as you're trying to maintain and almost play not catch up, but look at what baseball has done, look at what softball has done, look at the number, 21 or 22 national championships. There's an expectation there, right?
Yeah, 30 national championships.
Oh, I don't even know what I was talking
about. And volleyball went to the national championship game last year. So there's a level of excellence and winning tradition across the board throughout the athletic department. But it motivates me. Every time I go to work, you're surrounded by great people, great coaches, great support staff, and everyone's there to build their winning program. And I have never really been in a situation like that before in my previous stops. So it motivates me, keeps me and my staff excited to come to work every day because there's no slacking. You have to bring it every single day because you're surrounded by great staff, great program, great coaches.
Let's talk about this year's squad, this group. You're getting ready to head up and take on the University of Florida. First of all, I don't know who's in charge of your scheduling, but is that you?
Yeah, I agreed to it.
But a great opportunity for the team.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Florida's the showcase university in the state. Opportunity for us to go up there and play against the best, and we're thrilled to go up there in Gainesville and play in a couple weeks.
Well, when you get to play against a team like that, now you're your guys are playing against guys that have been recruited to play on like one of the top teams in the country. So the guys that they're playing against are the prima donnas from wherever they came from to play for Florida. And if they can go in there and hold their own, they're going to know what it, well, you learn what it's like to play against that level of player. And if there's one thing that amps up your game, it's like playing with tougher competition, because now you have to rise to the level to be able to compete with them. So I think it would be a great way to start off the year for them to go see how they stack up against a team like that.
Without question, you're absolutely right. And it's motivated us throughout their 7-week preseason that we had. The guys know what's coming. And all of our guys would like to play Division I. I mean, they're no different than every other basketball player or athlete out there, and now they have an opportunity to go play against the very best. I mean, Florida's a top 20 program. They're going to be very good again this year. They get to go up to the beautiful McConnell Center and kind of showcase our ability to play against elite guys in an elite program. So they're excited. We won't take it too serious. We won't talk about winning. If that happens, awesome. But we have little goals that we're going to try to accomplish in that game.
Well, as a Florida State fan and a Florida Southern fan, I wish you all the best against the Gators in the McConnell.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
I know your team comes out preseason, top 25 ranked. Talk about some of the pieces that you're missing from last year's squad and some of the players coming in that you hope will help fill that void.
We have 10 returners, but we do return our starting 5 from last year's team. So we did lose 2 key guys off of our bench from last year's team, one due to graduation. And then we had a really good freshman last year who decided to transfer a week before school started to a Division I JUCO because he has aspirations of playing Division I ball. So that will hurt because we are going to rely on some of our younger players to come off the bench and really provide a spark. And the deeper we are, the better. So I'm real confident with our starting 5. This is the first time in my coaching career that I've had 5 returners returning from our starting 5 returning. So I'm excited about that, but we're going to need our younger guys to really step up and provide the real good depth off the bench for us to really be successful this year.
And do you talk about those roles with your players? Obviously, you got the starting 5. Or are you talking with this player that, hey, I need 5 to 6, 5 to 7 good minutes from you. Go out there. Your responsibility is rebounding and defense. We're not necessarily looking for you to score. This is what we expect of you. I mean, are those conversations, or do those just occur as the season
it kind
wears on?
It sorts itself out. And the one thing I believe in as a coach, you don't want to limit guys. It's important to identify roles and give guys confidence in that role, but we want guys to max out. So if a guy starts the season and maybe he's only ready to give us 5 to 10 minutes, we don't want to cap him. We're trying to push him to give us 15 or 20 minutes. So, we will discuss certain roles, especially more this year because we do have so many guys returning. But I'm just a big believer in guys playing with a ton of confidence, and we want guys competing every day, which will push each other in practice.
So if a guy's starting to hit and all of a sudden he's getting hot, you just let him stay hot?
Let him shoot. Let him keep shooting. Yeah.
If they got the feel.
Yeah, I don't want to be the one to disrupt that rhythm. I don't want to be the one to play defense on them by taking them out. I want to, we want to let it ride, and hopefully our guys aren't looking over their shoulder, worrying about missing a shot or coming out. We want them to, they're hot, just keep shooting the ball.
And speaking of shooting, I'm assuming the fast-paced, up-tempo offense is still what you guys are looking to do.
Yes, we averaged 88.4 points a game last year. It was top 5 in the country. We have about 70-plus points returning on paper. So
that's a lot of points.
It's a lot of points. We still have to play defense and rebound, so we're stressing that right now. But our guys are confident in their ability to score the ball. Well, it's going to come down to can we guard and can we rebound at a high level.
And that's important to getting up and down the court because, I'm a Bartow guy, so I support Coach McGriff and what he's doing over there. And you can't get the ball down the court and in the basket if you haven't stopped them. After a made basket, you're giving that defense a chance to get back. So if you want fast break transition points, you've got to be able to do that. I'm assuming that's important to you guys.
Yeah, it's something we emphasize a lot. We want our guards to really be effective and attack the defensive glass. So, like you said, we can get out and run effectively. Right. Once we're on the open floor, we're pretty good. But if we're not getting stops, the ball stops, they get back on defense, and it's harder to get into that transition up-tempo game. So we're definitely at more of an advantage when we can get stops, get the ball out, and run effectively in the open floor.
Real quick before we have to go to break, talk about the local talent here, because obviously there's great college basketball here. And a lot of times it's missed because there's so much conversation about how good high school football is in Polk County, but it's good in all sports. But high school basketball here is pretty good.
It is. A lot of talent. I mean, you have Luke Anderson from right up the road from us at Lakeland High School, who's committed to Iowa State. But year in and year out, the county produces Division I players. And then across the board, the state of Florida, just tremendous athletes. And basketball, since I've been down here, just seems like it's continued to grow and becoming more popular. So I'm excited to see the development and growth, not only here in Polk County, but throughout the state in terms of basketball talent.
Well, and there was a Polk County kid that certainly had a hand in the last national championship. I believe it was Kevin Capers.
Yes.
He certainly was pretty good, and from right here in Polk County. So.
Right, and Kevin comes back a lot, and he's played with our guys, and I saw him a lot over the summer working out, and terrific guy and terrific ambassador for Florida Southern.
Well, Coach Donnelly, thanks again. We really appreciate it, and good luck to you. Maybe we can get you back on during the course of the season, and we'll certainly put you on after you beat the Gators, okay?
Love it. All right, very good.
We'll
Thank
have
you.
an hour special.
That's
there we
right.
go. I'm all for it. Yeah.
All right. Well, again, you can go to fscmox.com for any of the schedules with the athletics there at Florida Southern. You want to definitely check that out. Well, speaking of basketball, Keyshawn Bryant was a great basketball player at Winter Haven High School. Now he's headed to the University of South Carolina to play for them. We got a chance to catch up with Keyshawn. Take a look at this, and Hank and Neal will be right back here on Sports Central.
I always been playing basketball my entire life, but growing up, it really wasn't my sport. I was more into football, but my parents always kept me in it because we're like a sports family, so I stayed active. I got 6'7", so I might as well use the height and just play basketball. Sixth grade, I hit a major growth spurt, so like I started taking too many injuries to the knee, so we decided to just go with one sport, and basketball it was. And Dwight is my favorite player because I feel like we have the same type of game style. So I always watched him growing up, like how he did, how he jumped, how tall he was. So I always based my game off his. Being able to dunk, that's my best part. My 10th grade year, I sat halfway through my season because I suffered minor injury in my back of my skull that could have possibly paralyzed me, so that sat me out for a while. There's times where I wanted to give up and just give it all up, but that's what you have parents for, to always push you to be the best you can and never give up. Going to the gym, being in the gym every day, that's what it really takes about it. See, if you can put the work in, you can have the height. God can bless with your height, but if you're not in the gym doing nothing with it, then it's pointless. Most of us grew up together since we was like kids, little kids. So like we already had that chemistry that other teams are trying to build up. So we already was a step ahead of them. So that kind of helped us a lot. Routine is get your daily stretching, go up and down the court, get some touches in, then you do a little bit of 3-on-2, 2-on-1, then you start going over some plays. We always pray the Lord before you get on the court. My new recent accomplishment was I actually reached the 1,000-point club, and not too many people have ever done that from when they were in high school, so that's a big accomplishment for me and my family. I just think about just me on the court. That's all. I imagine myself on the court with nobody else there, and that just keeps me focused. I haven't decided where I'm gonna attend college yet, but I will be playing basketball at Division I college.
Everybody, welcome back to Sports Central. Our fourth and final segment is brought to us by the Hampton Inn in Winter Haven, a good partner of tourism and sports marketing, but some great footage there from Keyshawn. And I don't know if you were there last year when they made it to the RP Funding Center, Winter Haven High School, for the FHSAA Final Four, but unfortunately they didn't win a state championship. But Keyshawn, he is a talented kid.
Best of luck to him. It's going to be fun. It's fun to watch him here in high school, and then see how they do in college, and then the ones that go on to the pros. And I'm going blank on the young gal that played for Winter Haven that's now playing pro ball and is one of the top.
Hayes?
Yes, Tiffany Hayes. I mean, and you watch them here locally, and to see these kids excel, it's fantastic.
Yeah, absolutely. And we were talking about the Hampton Inn and Winter Haven being a partner. We want to mention another couple partners that have recently joined our team, and you know, it's always about co-branding and going together to go after events and bring that economic impact into Polk County. We want to thank BSN Sports. And Under Armour, they have now partnered with Polk County Tourism and Sports Marketing, and just another
our new Under Armour
feather in our cap. Well, and it's important because you have a international brand like that says we see what you're doing in Polk County and we really appreciate it and we want to be a part of it. So a real testament to all the great efforts that have been put in tourism and sports marketing. Of course, it starts with the Board of County Commissioners on down to the Tourism Development Council and then to staff. So good stuff. Speaking of events that we want to bring to Polk County, we've got one coming up, the Central Florida Throwdown.
Central Florida Throwdown, yes, and we've had these folks on the show. I'm going to try to sneak out there tomorrow and do a little video on that because it's just a heck of an event of just really.
It's a CrossFit event.
It's a CrossFit event, and it's getting bigger. They're going to have like maybe, I could be wrong here, but like 5,000 people are coming down.
Yeah, that's just spectators. I think they have 600-700 participants, or approximately 5,000 spectators coming to that event.
From all over.
Yeah, and great economic impact there. Sun and Fun Campus out there in one of the hangars. That is October 13th and 14th. Definitely look forward to that. Legoland Florida Resort, of course, it's that time of year. We're in October, so the Brick Retreat event is coming up. That's October 13th, 14th, the 20th, and 21st, 27th, and 28th, and of course on the 31st. And that takes place at the Legoland Florida theme park. This friendly, non-frightening, so don't worry about it, Hank. They're not going to scare you. Event features trick-or-treating, seasonal Halloween shows, giant Lego models, special meet and greets, and then Lego Halloween characters and more. So you definitely want to check that out.
It'll be they do a great job no matter what.
You know what the neat thing about that is? Your park admission you get all that. It's not an upcharge. It's not like some of these other parks that have something and then, oh, here for $50 more you can do this.
Yeah, exactly.
So you can definitely check that out.
Yeah.
Making Strides.
Making Strides in Polk County going to be on October 13th, Saturday at Lake Mirror, and the American Cancer Society Making Strides Against Breast Cancer. Walk raises awareness and funds to save lives from breast cancer. So a very great event to be a part of, just a non-competitive 3-mile walk. So.
Yeah, and I do want to say real quick, while we have a moment here, we'd be remiss to not send out thoughts and prayers for everyone up in the Panhandle and anyone affected by the most recent hurricane. We know a little over a year ago what we had to deal with here in Central Florida's Polk County with Hurricane Irma. In fact, yesterday I saw, and this was the neat thing, it just made you feel pride. I saw emergency management trucks and Polk County Sheriff's trucks and some trucks with generators and a whole crew. It probably was 20, 25 vehicles and trucks headed up there. They had staged, they got all their stuff, and they were headed up there to help out. And so many communities came here and helped out. So it's good to see everyone giving back. I felt like it would be remiss without mentioning that.
Yeah, tough. I have friends up there that suffered severely by it all, and it's just sad because it happens in a day. You know what I mean? This is just in a day your life is turned upside down. It's sad.
Absolutely. Well, getting back to some of the events, Tough Mudder Half Central Florida, that is Saturday, October 13th, and that's right here in Bartow at the Clear Springs Ranch. Registration is open. 5 miles of mud and epic obstacles specifically designed to test your teamwork and toughness, but it's not a race, it's an epic teamwork challenge.
So,
when I read this, I'm thinking, boy, could we take our staff out there? Because I would love to see how this goes down.
Yeah, it would be
and
fun.
A lot of people do this for fun.
Yeah, well, that's the only reason they're doing it is for fun. That's what they think fun is.
If you want more information on that, you can go to toughmudder.com, whether you want to be a spectator or you want to go out there and have fun.
Fun in the mud. Jogging for the Noggin, 5K's coming up on the 19th.
You need to do this.
I think it would be fun. At Polk Lakeland, now I know, Polk State Lakeland
I've thrown you off. Yes,
there
I'm
we
sorry.
go. 7th annual 5K to raise money for the Polk State Foundation, and there'll be also a fun 1-mile walk. So great thing to do here at Jogging for the Noggin.
Yeah, and we mentioned it earlier, I had a little bit of footage on it, but the Mid-Florida Auto Show will be October 19th through the 21st, and of course that's Lake Mirror, around Lake Mirror in downtown Lakeland. You definitely want to check that out. Free event.
And 12 o'clock high, October 25th, 27th. This is a neat event. If you haven't never seen these, they're the model airplanes.
Yeah, remote control.
Remote control airplanes, and it's hard to believe that they're not real once they're up in the air flying around. And a great event going on the 25th and the 27th. $10 to stop in and see that great event.
Yeah, the Lakeland Magic 5K will be October 27th, and it's in and around the RP Funding Center. In fact, when you finish, you go through the big doors there into the arena and finish across half court. I was joking with Shelley Wilkes, the president of the Lakeland Magic, and asked if they were going to have a bunch of pillows there because, that's a hard court. So people finish the finish line. Because I've seen what they do out at Hallway Park for those events.
Down.
A lot of people just fall down after they're done running because they push themselves. So it'd be kind of cool to finish there at center court. Entry is only $30 for adults, $20 for kids, and part of that entry you get a t-shirt, a 5K finisher's medal, and 1 ticket to opening night. So you definitely want to do that. You get to do the event, you get all this stuff to go along with it, and you get to go to opening night, which is not too far away. I believe it's November
some fun
10th or somewhere around there.
Right here in town.
To register, you can go to lakelandmagic.com, and of course there you can get information about their upcoming G League season. They returned to the RP Funding Center for their second season. Last year, in their first season, it was a great success because not only were they working all the things out, new venue, new team, all those things, they made the playoffs in their first season. And if you haven't been out there to check out the Lakeland Magic, you definitely want to. Family friendly, great value, great entertainment, and really competitive basketball. Because
these are pro basketball players.
They're pro basketball players, and the whole reason for the G League is there's only so many spots on the bench in the NBA. So instead of having every bench spot filled with all the NBA teams, now it gives an opportunity for them to develop as players. And we've seen that last year with the Orlando Magic. Now 2 or 3 of those players that were in Lakeland are now on the Magic roster. So it's absolutely working the way it's designed, and you get an opportunity to see professional basketball right here in Polk County. So go to lakelandmagic.com for more information.
And it's up close and personal.
Yeah.
You're not in the big arena.
If you sit real close, you can have them diving over you to go after a basketball.
You're up.
Well, speaking of up close and personal, all you Gator fans, all you Bulls fans, all you college baseball fans, we want to let you know that USF will be taking on the Florida Gators at Tigertown. That's on Sunday, October 28th at 2 p.m. I think it's $5 for berm seats, $10 for reserve seats, and $15 if you want to get those really close box seats. There's also several private party areas for groups. If you want to do that, you can give them a call at 686-8075 to reserve your party space, or 413-4140 if you want to get those individual game tickets. But pretty cool. The Gators are coming in to play the USF Bulls. It's part of their fall season, so neat stuff.
Some great basketball. So let's talk about our radio show a little bit. We got a great radio show on AM.
Yeah, you can tune in every Tuesday morning from 7 to 8 a.m. on Talk 1430 or Talk 96.7, or every Thursday on those same stations, Talk 1430 or Talk 96.7. 7 and 8 a.m. on Tuesday, 5 to 6 p.m. on Thursday. Great show. Got some sponsors we want to thank from today.
Can't do it without our sponsors: Abuelos, People's Barbecue, Party Rentals Unlimited, Cypress Lanes, and the Country Club of Winter Haven. And I'll tell you, boy, that golf course is exquisite out there, and the greens are fantastic. They've really done a remarkable job with it.
What he's not telling you is they don't actually let Hank play out there because the course is in good condition because they don't let you hack it up.
They don't backhoe Longo out there on the fairways.
Oh, just kidding. Thank you all for watching. Of course, our sponsors, we want to thank them for their continued support. If you want more information on events going on here in Central Florida's Polk County, you can go to centralfloridasports.com, or if you're looking for information on the tourism side of things, go to visitcentralflorida.org. We want to remind everyone to go to the Visitor Information Center 1/2 mile south of I-4 on Highway 27. It's getting to be that time of year. Christmas is right around the corner. There's discount attraction tickets, maybe some of those Polk-specific products that they sell
we got
up there.
a little gift shop up there with all kinds of gifts that are just right here from our own community in Polk County, and just a great experience. Get to learn all the neat stuff going on in town.
Yep, or give us a call at 863-551-4750. The next edition of Sports Central will come to you on Friday, October 26th. Until then, for Hank Longo and the whole crew here at PGTV, I'm Neal, Duncan. We'll see you later.